Hey, it's Rick, 28 millimeter RPG here. So we finally get to see more role play out there, which is great. So Black Lodge Gaming, they ended up posting their Cyberpunk 2020 live play. And Abraham from Talking About Games has posted his quick and classic with C4 Crispy, which who's a player who is wanting to try this role playing thing, and he's got his chance now. So he did really good. I'm going to start with Talking About Games, Abe's game uh, with Quick and Classic. What I thought was an interesting way, the mechanic and everything. It's not something I would personally use. I feel this is just me. I just feel like the players might feel that one role basically kind of dictates the whole situation sometimes. So they may feel like somewhat not fully in control of of what's happening, but I mean, Abe pulled it off, so kudos to him. It was a good game. You can kind of feel kind of the players initially try kind of almost kind of like you could tell that they were sort of struggling but and trying to get their footing at times. And the thing was, Abe posted his like his own GM's diary with his own observations of the game, which is cool because you got to do that. You got to look back at the game and see what happened and kind of think, okay, how can we improve this situation? Or you can kind of figure out, I can see my players were not at ease here. How can I make it better for them? How can I make it more, you know, more to how they want to play? Uh, you know, So I do that all the time with my own. I just watch my own videos and I kind of observe them and I go ahead and do my GM diary and say what I think. I by no means think that I am a really good game master or whatever. There are guys that are saying, "Oh, this is awesome" and everything and cool. I really appreciate that you guys give me this kind of support and say these things, but I do also want you to be honest and let me know where you thought could be there could be some improvements, because that's how I feel. I want to improve in this and I want to kind of perfect my thing. So seeing examples here of other game masters out there doing this role play thing give me some good ideas, even in Abraham's game as well. So for me, I think I could set back a little bit more, in letting the players take a lot of the narrative uh, in their own way, and that's probably going to happen. Um, let's see other things. Now the idea of having the players take possession of the henchmen sometimes can be a little bit maybe too much for the players if they're not ready for it. But I mean, C for Crispy ended up taking the two roles and working with them. Uh, at times, it felt like it was kind of funny seeing them go from one personnel to the other, and they were trying to you could see them trying to figure out how they were gonna do this as they were doing it, but they pulled it off. And you have to give them credit for really trying and trying to keep their headspace into the character. Uh, for me, I have like a couple of kind of not so experienced players, and in essence, as role players, like in role playing games, period. So I'm kind of, taking that easy on them, letting them find their own voice as they're playing these characters. Spencer hasn't had much time in the role playing realms under his belt. Same with Josh. Uh, Gordo has the most experience, being a game master himself, and he's actually helped kind of encapsulate a lot of the role playing essence in the game, even as far so as correcting himself at times. So for me, having these inexperienced players try to take on two personas at the same time, it would be pretty rough. uh, for me as a game master, I'm okay with playing multiple characters and having my own thing going on with them. I know I write down notes and everything, all their goals for the session, what their plans are and stuff like that, and I stick to them. If the players go ahead and correct their course, from what they're doing, or convince them otherwise that their way is a lot better way, or something like that, or whatever it is, things will change with the NPCs, and they will view the players in different spotlights, and things go on. So the NPCs are evolving, the players are evolving, and it all, seems to be an interesting thing that happens. Black Lodge Games, they had their session, and of course, a totally different system as well, with Cyberpunk 2020. Um, they were a little bit more, a lot of exposition. But I kind of try to pull away from that. I want my players to experience everything kind of firsthand without any kind of pre-knowledge, giving them too much to yeah, I just pull back from that. So I let the players experience everything firsthand, what what this character or this leader is like, or what their society is like. They're going to experience it firsthand. They're not going to be foretold a lot of stuff. So me, I'm a little bit more different that like that. It was still a great session, and the guys on there were playing their characters great. It was cool to see that, not I'm not the only one to have, connection problems and stuff like that, or, technical issues. It happens. So, um, it's stuff we got to live with in this kind of a online society. You won't have those things, of course, if you're doing this with your players around the table and just enjoying it. It works a lot better that way. So, so I kind of look at both of these in their own subtleties, seeing that they are all, every game master has their own individual kind of style. And for me, I kind of look at what I do. I want to maintain that kind of a movie kind of effect. I want the play to be proceed kind of uh, naturally, but prompted by the NPCs as well as the narrative kind of end of it. So um, maybe I can probably hold back a bit, maybe on my next session, and see how that works, and see how my players uh, work their characters in that kind of aspect, where I'm not kind of, I'm pulling back more control out of into their hands kind of idea. So I might do that as well. Sorry if you hear the annoying dog outside. It's not mine. It's the neighbor who doesn't care about his animals. So shouldn't even own an animal, I should say. Uh, it's it's pretty annoying. You should hear it at like 9, 10 o'clock at night. Yeah, yeah. These guys, they're pretty whack. But enough about my neighbors. um, but anyways, it's a lot of cool stuff to see other game masters out there doing this kind of a thing. And hopefully Black Lodge Games, they go ahead and do their own game master diary as much as Abraham has, and follow suit with some, some insight on, like, how you presented the game to the players, how you decided on how everything was going to work out, what the players controlled in their aspect of how they do things in the game, whether or not they can, bring things out of, you know out of nothing, ideas like that. I can see that with a lot of kind of like their background kind of ideas, like, they are friends with a so and so, oh, I'll call this guy up kind of idea, that can happen, Um, but in my games I kind of take I take more narrative control on the situation, uh, basically because most of it's unknown, for the players. It's kind of like they're facing the unknown almost every time. So in perhaps like a fantasy setting, you kind of know what's gonna, what the kind of things you're going to be encountering basically on a fantasy level. In Cyberpunk, you're going to know the setting and everything. Your players are going to have this pre-knowledge of how Night City works and all that kind of stuff. Where in Traveler, it's kind of like you are exploring. This is the first time you've been in some of these areas, and in some cases in the future of the future, uh, in my game, you don't know what's going to happen. It's kind of like that mystery, like the crew of the Nostromo didn't have any idea what they were going to be encountering, you know, and I would rather have that play of discovering as it happens to be present. And, if there's a big, bad, ugly monster that's going to eat them in the end, you know, that's that's the thing. They have no idea what's coming up. So I know a lot of people may preconceive thinking what's going to happen next in my games. Often I will have ideas, that could happen, but a lot of times it is whatever, however the players are playing. It helps me kind of uh, figure out like some of the more finer points of what's happening in the worlds that they are visiting, and what they do, corresponds to a lot of the reactions that they get from the NPCs of each of these worlds too. So as the game goes on, they are often surprising me with what they come up with sometimes on how they approach things. So, anyways, hopefully, Gordo's good for next week. He was feeling a little down under, so we went ahead and postponed our game until this next Sunday. So hopefully you guys stay tuned for that and check things out. That's all I'm gonna really say. I just think it's, roughly, it's really cool to see everybody, more of us role players or potential role players. I'm trying to, do my thing and become better and better at it. So I'm not saying I'm the best or anybody's the best, or what. You guys go out there, check out all these games that are being shown, and adopt your own kind of style on it, because there are many styles. You see that there's, not everything's going to be suiting one type of player or whatever. So um, it's just cool to see all this stuff happening finally. With a bunch of other channels. For a while there, I was like thinking, there was the red, what is it called? Red book or red room? No, red room's the other. But all these role playing gamers, even cast party, I would kind of consider that in that kind of vein of theater of the mind kind of role playing. And I'm just going to say theater of the mind so that everybody kind of has the same idea. Could call it observing the mindscapes or whatever you want to call it. It's just using your imagination instead of using the maps and minis. So that's the way we are playing this. uh, don't get me wrong. I love board games. I'll play my board games. You'll see me paint my board games, and you'll see me paint minis for skirmish games and stuff like that. I don't mind playing those at all. It's just when I'm role playing, I'm going to be role playing. And it's not LARPing. As you can see, it's not us getting dressed up and doing the thing, being all dramatic, theatrical, or whatever. Yeah, I'll use a voice because I'll use that's just the way I am. So, but you're seeing that we're not these weirdos out there that are prancing around and banging ourselves with sticks, um, and that sort of thing. So, anyways, I'll leave you guys to it. Just check out all this stuff that's been happening. I'm just saying it's all great to see everybody doing these things. So awesome. There won't be any like real special, music outro right now. I'm setting that up as we speak. Uh, but you guys have an awesome day. Thank you for tuning in and checking up on this, different form of GM's diary. And if you feel like it, subscribe. If you don't, it's cool. I'd rather have you be able to check out my stuff over and over again and come and visit. So get those notifications. You guys have an awesome day and thank you for tuning in. I'll see you guys later.